We're uncovering a little bit more damage over here in the corner. This is on the driver's side in the back, where we have all this rot in the corner. And then I started peeling it back, because this is peeled back a little bit. So I started going into here, and this is going to be another thing here. I'm going to have to replace part of this panel. As you can see, it's just coming apart without too much work. That's also going to give me, have to get down here to these bolts. So I think I can get down to these bolts on this one here anyway. That bolt goes through the plywood as well as this board into the frame, one back here. So I need to come back and cut this piece off right about here, so I make sure I'm back into good wood. So that's going to be my next change here. Is I'm going to have to look at this. You can see the styrofoam insulation back behind there. Camera turn where it's not sideways. Yeah, it feels kind of sticky too, so well, we're gonna have to peel some of that back. Metal support there, foam on each side. Now, some of this I can probably do later after I get the floor done, but I just want to see where my damage is. And it looks like up here it's good solid wood. Over here it doesn't look like it is up to, well, maybe about up to here, which is about where my outside running light is. And these are the connectors that I had to cut, 2 wires in each one. I'll leave those so I know which one, plug them back in the same ones. But yeah, that's fairly solid there. So I'm probably gonna have to just take this, just a little piece over here, and replace that. This is that 1/8 inch paneling, so it's not very thick, so it don't take much if it gets wet for it to just rot away. And that's more of the frame and more of the frame. Almost looks like it was glued down. Yeah, you can see up underneath there, it's rotten clear back there. So I'll have to dig all that out, as well as cut this piece off. So that's my next task, I think, is cut that piece off. Now I have an 8-foot board in here. I may not be able to put the whole piece in solid. I might have to actually build it in pieces and then layer it, so it'll be nice and strong, because I don't have access to the way they built it. They put that frame on before they put the rest of the stuff in. So that's kind of the damage I have there. I've swept up the floor a little bit, so you can see. And I'm going to have the same problem over there on that side. I'm going to have to take all that out underneath there and look and see how bad this was over here, and see if there's any damage over here. I haven't checked that yet. So that's my next thing here after I get done with cutting this piece out. I think I get a little saw and start cutting that out so I can see where I need to go with that. Well, I got part of this out. I cut off, I noticed, I thought it was a 4x in there, and no, it's not. It's actually individual ones. And I cut this off, and you can see that's pretty good wood here, but this one back on the other side of it is bad as well. So I'm gonna have to pull this back a little bit more and get back where all that is. And this feels a little bit damp. This is wet in here, so it's gotten wet here recently. Now I did say we was power washing the outside of it to get some of the gunk off of it, so that might have been why it's coming in, but there's still some reason why it's been leaking for more than just a couple weeks ago when we put the power washer on it. You don't get rot that quick. So that's gonna have to tear a little bit more of this out Not sure where we're going to end up with it, but we got to take back far enough to get past all the bad wood. Hopefully I don't have to go clear back here too far, because this is wet right up, had been wet up to about here. So I'm just hoping I don't have to go back any further. Well, we'll take more apart and see where we're at. Oh, I took this back a little bit further. I can see I have on the back one, I have good wood here, and our ants are all back here, so you can tell that they're eating in that rotten wood down there, so I need to get rid of them. So it looks like I have to cut the back one back to here and run that out. Now I know they're in separate pieces. I can just use regular 2x4s and just build it back in the way it was here. As long as I don't make the seams in the same spot, we should have a good strong joint. I can throw a couple of construction screws in there along with some glue or something, and may not use glue, but I'll just put some good screws in there, and I'll take all this out now. So I gotta be careful when I do this so I don't go through and cut into the outside wall, because I don't want to have a hole back there. That's more work I have to fix. So I'll take this piece out, and it looks like I can probably cut this next one back to here, so I'll have to start seaming out there, and that's where we ended up. Now that I got this board a little bit further out, it looks like they built the inside one and the outside, put another layer on there and stapled it on, because here's those staples that everything else is put together with. So I'll kind of not duplicate staples, but we'll cut this one back to right. Looks like it's bad right to here, so I'll cut back someplace right in here. Make sure I get some good wood. And there'll be a little bit of an overlap. I'd like a bit more than that, but I gotta make sure I get all the bad wood out. So I'll probably cut right in here between these two nails and see what we go from there. Now we're back on doing this board here. I can't get a full 8-foot piece in here. There's just no way it'll fit in there. So I'm going to have to piece this back one. But I want to get the next layer. I'm going to put 3 rows here. And one of the layers I'll be able to get an 8-foot piece in. It will be a little bit shorter than 8 foot, so I'll go inside. So I'm going to piece these together. I've got this stapled back on here. I'm going to take the next piece, put it in here. I put 45s in. I put construction adhesive and a couple screws. That'll hold it. And then the next layer I'll put on, I'll make sure I don't have a seam over the top of this one. Well, we got a little bit done. I got this piece in down over here, and then I have this piece in the back. I was going to do like 45-degree miters and put a piece in there, but it didn't work too well, so I couldn't put this all in one piece, so I cut it right here and then cut it to the length that it needed to be, and then put some pocket holes in there with some construction adhesive. So that's the back one. And now the next thing I do is there's a couple of bolts down there, and you get those out before I can put this next board on. But I can come over here on this side where the door is, and I need to cut this back to wherever I need to cut it back to and put a piece in there. So that's going to be a fairly long one there. I might have to take another whole 8-foot long board and cut it down to fit in there, because I don't want to piece it in more than one time. So I'll do the same thing there. There's 2 boards there, so I'll have to cut this one here and see how bad the next one is. I may have to cut back a little bit further. So hopefully I don't have to go in this last section. I'd rather not tear that up if I don't have to, but if I need to, I'll get back there.